Hello and welcome back to Pro Music Creator, where we embrace the idea that we don't start as professionals, but we can all become pros through practice and understanding. In today's video, we'll be discussing Autotune 2, an innovative plugin designed to streamline your Autotune workflow and save you valuable time in the studio. Autotune 2 automatically detects the key, the scale, and the tempo of your music, and then sends that information to one or more compatible instances of Autotune. This powerful tool is perfect for musicians and producers looking to enhance their creative process and improve their overall productivity. So, if you're ready to take your music production to the next level, then stay tuned for a closer look at Autotune 2. I've got a special automation feature I also want to demonstrate that is a game changer. So stick around till the end to find out how you can automate key changes with Autotune 2. Autotune 2 was built to examine polyphonic audio material and identify its key, its scale, and its tempo details. Antares advises against using Autotune directly on a vocal track that you intend to modify with Autotune or on monophonic instrument tracks. Instead, they suggest adding Autotune to the master output bus, the mix bus, or the master stereo output of your project. Autotune versions that were launched prior to the development of Autotune may not react to messages from Autotune 2. If you happen to use one of those older versions, you can still detect the key of your music by using Autotune. But you will have to manually configure the key and scale parameters in that particular Autotune version. For a complete list of the Autotune compatible plugins, you can refer to the knowledge base article that I've included in the description. Before you can use Autotune 2, you'll need to download it from Antares' website. Again, the link is in the description. Once installation is complete, you'll find Auto Central in your computer's application folder. For macOS, you can find it in /applications, while for Windows, it's located in C:/program files /ant audio technologies. To log in, input your email address and password. If you need to register a new purchase, go ahead and do so and meet me on the other side. Okay, now we're all set. Open Autotune in your DAW. I'm using Ableton Live, so I'll show you it using that DAW. But Autotune is compatible with Pro Tools, Logic Pro, Cubase, Studio One, Reaper, and Digital Performer as well. Autotune 2 provides 3 different methods for detecting key and scale information, which are visually laid out in individual columns. Once detection is complete, you can send this information to all compatible instances of Autotune with the Send to Autotune button. Autotune operates in listen mode by default, where it listens to incoming audio in real time. File mode is used to analyze pre-existing audio files that you navigate to by clicking the Use File button or dragging and dropping a compatible audio file into the Autotune plugin window. Manual mode allows you to manually select the key and scale of your track from a drop-down menu, which is useful when you already know the key and scale and you want to quickly send that information to multiple instances of Autotune at once. So I want to explain how to use listen mode in Autotune. It's this cool little feature that analyzes audio in real time. Just play a part of your track that has the main chord progression and you'll get the best results. First, open Autotune in your project and make sure you have Autotune detection enabled. Some plugins have an Autotune option in their preferences, while others have a dedicated button for it. Next, open Autotune on the master output bus. It'll say, waiting for transport until you start playing. As it analyzes the audio, it'll display a listening message. When it's done, you'll see the key, the scale, and the tempo of the audio. Now, go ahead and play your track. Auto key will show you all sorts of information, like the key, scale, and tempo, and the relative key. Play at least 5 seconds of audio so it has enough time to detect everything. Once it's got the key and scale, you can click Send to Autotune, even if it's still working on the tempo. If you want to analyze a different part of the song, just click the Listen button again. Keep in mind that tempo detection might take up to 10 seconds or longer. When you're ready, click Send to Autotune, and the key and scale settings will be updated in Autotune. And guess what? There's a new feature in AutoKey 2 that lets you automate key changes, but we'll get to that soon. Next up, file mode. File mode can analyze audio files from your hard drive. Here's how you can do it. First, open Autotune in your project and make sure you have one or more instances of it. Again, don't forget to enable the auto key detection for each one. Next, open an instance of auto key on any track in your project. Now, click the Use File button, find the file you want to analyze, open it, and auto key will check the entire audio file and show you the key, the scale, and tempo in the central display. You can also drag and drop an audio file into the AutoKey 2 interface. It works with MP3s, FLAC, WAV, and AIFF files. After you've analyzed the file, AutoKey will show the file name under the Use File icon. Click the Send to Autotune button, and the key and scale parameters of the compatible Autotune instances will be set to what AutoKey detected. So, if you already know the key and scale of your music, you can use AutoKey in manual mode to set the key and scale parameters for all the Autotune instances in your project. Just keep in mind that the tempo and reference frequency won't be detected in manual mode. So, they'll be set to their default values. Let's look at a quick demo. Open Autotune. Add one or more instances of Autotune in your project, making sure that the auto key detection is enabled for each one. Some plugins have an auto key option in the preferences, while others have a dedicated auto key button, as I mentioned before. Open Auto Key. Add an instance of AutoKey on the master bus in your project. Click on the manual button to set AutoKey to manual mode, which defaults to a chromatic scale. Or you can open the drop-down menu and pick a key scale to switch to manual mode automatically. AutoKey 2 now has a chromatic scale option besides the 12 major and 12 minor keys. Now, Send to Autotune. Hit the Send to Autotune button, and the key and scale parameters of the compatible Autotune instances will be set based on your choice from the Auto Key Scale menu. You can click on the Onterris logo and it opens up a separate app for managing license activations, installing plugins, and much more. There is also a settings button where you can find the settings and preferences menu. Now, you'll find this bypass button, which you can click to disable auto key in your DAW. When it's bypassed, the button looks kind of dim. After you send info to Autotune, it's a good idea to bypass auto key to save on CPU power. But hey, you can still leave auto key on an insert slot in your DAW if you want to tweak stuff later on. So when you use auto key, it shows you all the important info about your audio in one convenient spot called the central display. It'll show you the key and scale detected from the audio, which you can send to Autotune with a single click. Now, sometimes auto key might mix up the relative key with the minor key, like thinking it's C major when it's actually A minor. No worries though. Just use the relative key swap button to switch to the key that feels right for your track, and then send it to Autotune. AutoKey also checks the tuning of your track to find its reference frequency. Most music these days is tuned to A equals 440 Hz, but sometimes it's not. If that's the case, the display will turn orange. If you're using an Autotune version with a detune parameter, just set it to match the reference frequency detected by AutoKey. The tempo display shows you the tempo and BPM detected in the audio. Just remember a few things. It can detect tempos between 60 and 240 BPM. It works best with audio files that are at least 10 seconds long. Sometimes it can mix up halftime and double time tempos, like detecting 80 BPM instead of 40 BPM. It's most accurate with tracks that have clear downbeats and less accurate with noisy or silent parts. Note that the tempo detection is just for display purposes in AutoKey, and it can't be sent or received by other Onterras plugins. There are also /2 and X2 buttons to half or double the detected tempo. Just click them again to go back to the original tempo readout. The keyboard is pretty cool. It actually shows you the notes of the detected or selected scale by making the notes outside of the scale a little grayed out. All of the notes in the current scale are labeled with the root note marked in bold. It's really helpful for learning the root note and which notes the scale contains. You can even click on any key on the keyboard to highlight it in blue and play the note. Just a heads up though, for some hosts, you may only be able to hear the note when the transport is currently playing back. Let's talk about the awesome feature I mentioned at the beginning of the video, automation. But before we do, if you think you might want to purchase this plugin, I put a link in the description below for you that will take you right to the product page. Okay, so back to the automating of the key changes. Let me help you understand how to automate key changes using AutoKey 2. Consider this just a general guideline if you are using a different DAW, and you might want to check the DAW's documentation for specific instructions. First, go to the beginning of your song in the host. Set automation to write. Next, switch the host channel with AutoKey 2 to automation write mode. Set the first key with automation writing enabled. Manually set the key to the one used at the beginning of your song. Click the Send to Autotune button while still in automation writing mode. Jump to the part of the song where the key changes. Adjust the key in manual mode to match the new key of the song, making sure automation writing is still enabled. Click the Send to Autotune button again. If your song has more key changes, just repeat these steps. Once you're done with all key changes, then proceed to the last step. Finally, set the host to read back the automation moves you've recorded. Once you've done all of this, your AutoKey plugin will automatically switch to the song's initial key at the beginning. It'll send that key to all compatible instances of Autotune. And then, as changes occur, it'll send the new key at the right time, sending that key to all compatible instances of Autotune as well. Easy peasy, right? Now, let me get you familiar with the Settings and Preferences menu in AutoKey 2. You can customize your experience with it. And it even saves your selections as default for all future instances of AutoKey 2. Pretty neat, huh? For appearance, you have three options: light, dark, and system. You can choose system. If you choose system, AutoKey will just follow the appearance settings of your Mac or PC. AutoKey uses OpenGL for better graphics on computers with compatible graphics cards. Most modern computers support it, so best to keep it enabled. Now, on a Mac, OpenGL is disabled by default, while it's enabled by default on Windows. If you're having issues with CPU or graphics performance, try disabling this preference. Want to set the default settings for new instances of AutoKey? That's simple. Just check the Save All Settings as default box. You can also turn tooltips on or off, which are those little helpful hints that pop up while you're hovering over a control in AutoKey. Do you need some help? Well, click the View Help topics to open the AutoKey 2 help page in your browser. You'll find tutorials, videos, and facts, and other useful articles there. You can resize the Auto Key plugin window and it stays sharp at any size. Drag the window from the bottom right corner to resize, and if you want to reset it back to the default size, that's simple. Just use the reset window size setting. Lastly, the version number of Auto Key installed on your computer is displayed at the bottom of the settings and preferences menu. This can be helpful for troubleshooting if you run into any issues. So that's the rundown, my friends. Enjoy playing around with Auto Key 2, and I will see you in the next video.